When I walk. Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning again, everyone. I want to welcome everyone to Kelly Ingram Park. My name is Randall Woodfin. I'm honored to serve as mayor of the city of Birmingham, and it's truly an honor to have Secretary of Labor Walsh here in the city of Birmingham. Before I proceed, I want to acknowledge my colleagues on the city council who are present. Our city council president, Wardine Alexander, along with Carol Clark, along with LaTanya Tate, Valerie Abbott, and Clinton Woods, and also State Representative Mary Moore. Thank you all for being here. You know, the hat I am most proud to wear today is that I am a proud son of two union parents. They're both retired now, but as you see, the men and women behind me are proud, local, and vocal union leaders and representatives, and they have a very important role to play in the community. So here's the deal, everybody. Kelly Ingram Park represents so much from a historic standpoint. Part of that is a fight for civil rights. But the fight continues. Economic justice and economic mobility. That's still part of a fight we continue to have even with the state of Alabama. And so I am so proud that Secretary Walsh is here with us. Proud that we've chosen this site, not only from a historical standpoint, but from a present and future standpoint of a continued fight. And it gives me a great honor to welcome now Congresswoman Terry Sewell, who represents us for the 7th Congressional District, who's also a voice, a champion, and a fighter for the continued fight around economic justice and economic mobility for citizens in this community and the 7th Congressional District. So with that, Congresswoman Terry Sewell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, Birmingham.
Good morning.
What definitely a beautiful day to be able to welcome a member of President Biden's administration, the Secretary of Labor, right here to Birmingham, Alabama. You know, so often we in right-to-work states get looked over, but we know how important it is for us to have the right to unionize in the state of Alabama and in the United States. When we think about all of the things that unions have brought to us, safer jobs, higher wages, an opportunity to really the dignity of work reinforced over and over again by these honorable men and women who are part of unions. It's an honor for me to be here today, not only to represent Alabama's 7th Congressional District and to welcome Secretary Walsh to Birmingham, Alabama, but also as a proud member of the Alabama delegation and the only one in the Alabama delegation to vote in favor of the Build Back Better agenda, as well as the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Never had we have a president who has delivered so much in such a little amount of time. The American Rescue Plan was a game changer for the city of Birmingham, for Jefferson County, for the state of Alabama, and for this nation. And now, on the heels of that, to have the Build Back Better agenda and the bipartisan infrastructure bill on its heels. The bipartisan infrastructure bill will bring $5.2 billion to the state of Alabama for roads and bridges. And we know that these are good jobs, but we want to make sure that the folks in Alabama have a livable wage. It's not just about getting up every day and going to work, but it's having a livable wage. And I'm so honored that this president and this secretary fought through an executive order. The federal government is leading by example by giving federal contractors a minimum $15 wage. We have to lead by example, and we're doing that each and every day. And when I think about the fact that the bipartisan infrastructure bill, it's a no-brainer. It creates jobs today, 2 million jobs per year today, and it's building the highways, byways, and fiber optics of the future. So it's a win-win proposition. What we have to do is ensure that our workers get fair wages. In the state of Alabama, minimum wage is $7.25. It's simply not enough to be able to provide for our families. We know that, and we are trying every day to make sure that we're uplifting the standards of safety as well as wages for all Americans. And that's exactly what this president, Joe Biden, really understands. I think that he has been a president that really understands not only unions, but he understands the dignity of work. I know all of you have heard him tell the story about how his dad lost his job and they had to leave Scranton, Pennsylvania in search for better work. I think all of us have stories in our families about this. And through this pandemic, we saw essential workers working through a pandemic in order to provide services for all of us. They deserve better, and we will be making sure that we build back better with Joe Biden. I am honored today to be able to introduce the Secretary of Labor. I know that you will tell by his accent that he's not from the South. I have the honor of introducing the 29th Secretary of Labor, Martin Welch. He began his career as a state representative for Massachusetts in 1997. Secretary Walsh brings years of public service and strong advocacy to working people in his position as head of the United States Department of Labor. He began as a state representative for 16 years in the state legislature in Massachusetts, and he most recently was a two-term mayor of the city of Boston, where he fought to improve wages and the standard of living for folks in the city of Washington. Throughout his career, he has been a strong advocate for unions, having been a union man himself as a part of the laborers union, very proud card-carrying member. And throughout his time, both in Boston, in Massachusetts, and now in Washington, he's fighting for every American to have an equitable share of the riches of this great country. That's what it's about. It's not just about providing resources, it's making sure that we include and see it, the distribution of those resources through an equity lens. That's what the President of the United States is doing, and that's definitely what Secretary of Labor Martin Welch is doing. With great pleasure, welcome to the city of Birmingham and to the state of Alabama.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Congresswoman. And I want to just everyone understand the importance of the Congresswoman has, in the last 14 days, actually less than that, has really voted on two important pieces of legislation for our country. One is the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, which she referenced in investing in this city, in this state, and then also the Build Back Better, a bill that was voted on last week, Friday. That's going to make such a transformative change for so many people in our country when it comes to child care, when it comes to universal pre-kindergarten, when it comes to job training, and so many other things. And I look at this little one right here in the middle, thinking about her future is going to be so different because of investments that are going to be made by Congress and by the American people. So thank you, Congresswoman, for your remarks and for all that you do. Mr. Mayor, thank you for hosting me in your city today. It's been an honor. We've had a great morning so far already. I want to thank you, and to the members of the City Council, thank you. Your city's beautiful, and it's such an honor to be here. I'm going to go tour around a little bit and check it out. To my colleague, the good representative, it's great to see you as well. So thank you for that. To the gentleman over here, straight out of Boston, I love your shirt. Thank you for the shirt. I appreciate that. You know, this is it's amazing to be here, and as a former mayor, I'm watching what the mayor has been doing here in this city, and we talked a lot about it today. It's so important that on the ground, your local government does so much, and what we're going to talk about today is going to hopefully help local government, and what the Congressman voted on in the last couple of weeks is going to help local government, and it all is about local government, because local government is about where the people are. So I want to thank you all. To everyone here, to the clergy members and activists, thank you for being here today. To the workers that are here with us, I want to thank you for what you've done for the pandemic, the work you do morning, noon, and night, and every day. Thank you for that. To the unions represented here, thank you for being here as well. To the press for covering this, thank you for covering this, because throughout the whole pandemic, you've been on the front lines as well. So thank you for being here this morning. In the Biden-Harris administration, we just don't say thank you to working people. We fight for working people. And that's a distinction that we need to be very clear about. And we lead by example, supporting workers who keep the federal government moving forward. That's why President Biden signed an executive order to raise the minimum wage for federal contracted workers to $15 an hour. By one signature on a page, this will raise wages for over 327,000 workers across the government. And especially going to help women and workers of color who too often get underpaid. And it's going to be a big impact here in the South. I'm here to announce today that the Department of Labor is ready to implement that new $15 an hour minimum wage law starting on January 30th, 2022, right after the new year. Roughly 10 weeks from today. I wanted to be here to celebrate this occasion in Birmingham, the home of the Civil Rights Movement. Here at Kelly Ingram Park, a place honoring those who fought for racial justice. The black community has been the driving force in the fight to raise the minimum wage all across this country, and right here in Birmingham. Now the federal government is doing our part to make sure workers get a decent wage so they can keep our government running. The new minimum wage, what it applies to workers on federal contracts in all 50 states and U.S. territories. It includes workers with disabilities, It ends the lower tip minimum wage for federal contracted employees by 2024, and it will be indexed to inflation, so it will grow with your cost of living. And the raise comes at a time to match historic federal investments. We've already talked about it in good blue-collar jobs. Last week, the president signed the infrastructure law into law. It's going to create millions of new jobs with construction and other things, and then it's going to create more jobs as a spin-off of that. And the congresswoman already referred to this. Alabama, over the next 5 years alone, is looking at $5.4 billion for roads and bridges, $400 million for public transportation, $79 million for electric vehicle charging stations, $100 million to get affordable high-speed internet in every community, $782 million to replace lead pipes and make sure every single home has clean and safe drinking water. And there's so much more to that she's going to do. When you think about this, it's 2021, and we're talking about fixing our roads and bridges that have been falling down for 50, 60 years. We're talking about improving public transportation to communities that don't have public transportation, that can't get to their jobs. We're talking about the future of American electric charging stations and electric vehicles that are going to come so our young people can have clean air to breathe and clean drinking water to drink. We have people that during the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, families didn't have internet. They went home. Some in Boston, we sent some home with hotspots, thinking Boston's an innovative technology hub. It is. But not every family had access to internet. This is going to change that in Boston and Birmingham and all across our country. And we still have too many kids and too many people in our country drinking water out of lead pipes. When you think about this investment, this is an investment. This isn't spending, it's an investment. And this investment is going to help create thousands of new jobs here in Alabama. And we're determined to make sure that every good job we're creating is a good, high-quality job so a family can afford a home, put food on the table, a car in the driveway, live with dignity, live with respect, and make sure we treat them the way that people should be treated. This new minimum wage will help in that effort for many workers who help work on federal projects. The fact is, federal contract workers are essential workers in our country. They maintain federal buildings that keep us safe. They provide health care for our veterans who fought for our country to allow us to have the freedoms we have today. They provide child care for our kids. They provide food service for military members and their families. They build and repair roads and bridges all across this country. No matter what state they work in this union, they deserve a living wage. But I've talked enough. I want to hear a little bit about, and you want to hear a little bit about, from some federal contract workers who will benefit directly from President Biden's executive order. We have three great workers that we're going to say a few words today. The first to speak is Ann Jones, a member of LIUNA, my union. Ann has been a floor service technician for almost 40 years. She has worked at Fort Benning for the past 13. I want to ask Ann to please come up here and tell your story.
Yay!
Don't be nervous.
Good morning.
Morning.
As he said, my name is Ann Jones. I work at Fort Benning, Georgia. I'm a floor technician there. And $15 an hour is great for me. I am so happy that President Biden got it done. I voted for him because I knew he would get it done. So I'm thankful for all those that helped us get through this. We do our job. We never stopped working during this pandemic. We worked every day, and I think we deserve it. I think we all deserve it. I might be from Georgia, but I think Alabama is a good place too. So I'm happy to be here today to let you know, because of the union, I have been a union member for 13 years at Fort Benning. Because of that, my insurance, I had great insurance, had raises, but I believe that the union brought us a long ways. I don't know how other people feel, but I feel that it's very important to be a union member. And I'm very proud to be that union member. So I'm thankful for it. The insurance that we have is great. We can go and get things done. I'm thankful for the people that are working there, that's union members. And also, I am a steward at Fort Benning. So I became that to help people. because I enjoy helping and working with people. So this is a blessing to me to be making $15 an hour. Some people might almost be there, but there's a lot that's not. And this would mean a lot to a mother that's single and have kids that she has to raise by herself, and even fathers that are single. This will help them. You might say, okay, $15 an hour is not going to do a lot, but I beg to differ, it will. It'll do more than what you was doing with what we was making. So I'm here today to just say I'm thankful. I'm proud to be a union member.
Thank you, Ann, and that was incredible. I love your passion. Let me just hold on. Let me just give me 1 second here. I lost my where am I going? Next, we have Carolyn Morris. Carolyn's lived in Alabama for nearly 50 years. She's a member of the United Steelworkers Local 9504. Let's hear a shout out for 9504. She has worked as a janitor at Maxwell Air Force Base in Montgomery for over 30 years. She is also a union steward, working on her own time to support her co-workers. Carolyn, the mic is yours.
Hey, how is everybody doing this morning? My name is Carolyn Morris. I thank y'all for having me here today. I'll tell y'all a little bit about myself. I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm a great-grandmother, and I'm also a member of the United Steel, a local 9504. I worked at Maxwell, thank you. I worked at Maxwell Air Force Base for about over 30 years. I work as a janitor, cleaning around the base. What I love mostly about the job, I'm always helping people and my co-worker with their work. I'm also a stewardess who help them with their troubles and other problems. My co-worker and I are important, making sure the Air Force can accomplish the mission. I am currently paid $11.80 per hour. There are almost no words to say that can make me think that this is a good deal. I'm so happy about it, I can't hardly talk. So, with making $15 an hour would mean so much to me and my family and my co-worker. We are just everyday people, but it is hard making ends meet. The expenses will be, the expenses of a household is so much now. We thank the support of Secretary Walsh for helping me and my grandkids. And with medicine and school and supplies, those grandkids mean so much to me to help them out. They need medicine, they need school supplies, they need gas for their car. So that is so important to my life. Making more money will help me give them a better life. Thank you so much for having me here, and Secretary Walsh, thank you so much for helping us to get a raise. I deeply appreciate it, y'all, and thank you so much.
You're awesome. That was awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Carolyn. And the next speaker is Jamie Brown. Jamie's a customer service representative at Maximus in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. He helps people who have questions about the Affordable Care Act plan. He's a proud member of Maximus Worker Organizing Committee, which is part of the Communication Workers of America. They have a union drive there. He fights for his fellow workers, and I hear he's a great dad as well. Jamie, I invite you up to tell your story.
Okay. My name is Jamie Brown. I'm a customer service representative. I answer questions for affordable health care. I live in Mississippi, in Hattiesburg. Before the EO went into effect, I was getting paid $11.35. I've worked there for years, going on 7 years now. I work directly with the company, federal contracted, called Maximus. But really, my coworkers and I are doing work on behalf of the federal government. My coworkers in Hattiesburg and thousands of other Maximus employees staffing to do Medicare as well as affordable health care. We're so busy doing overtime right now. I know a lot of them would love to be here to speak and to take a part of this, but cannot do this because they're taking off time, maybe losing their jobs. I just want to say thank you to you, Mr. Walsh, and our President Biden for hearing our voices, and also to the CWA for giving us a chance to be able to be heard. When I first started at Maximus, we were starting out at $9.05 an hour, which is ridiculous. How can you afford to live off of that? I mean, I'm a grown man. I'm a single father. I support my mother. She suffers with dementia. It's a lot on my plate. At times, I've even had to work at Maximus full-time and do another full-time job working at a production factory. I've been worn down, and it's a blessing to be able to say thank you for the $15 an hour to start, because this will give me a chance to slow down on all the stress, and to be able to tell my child, hey, we can go places now, for me to be able to save some kind of money to be able to do that. This also does help not just me, a lot of single black females in our state that are looked over. It's helped them with drastic changes, being able to put food on the tables, and not being as stressed out. Stress is a big killer in this country, and this is a big relief to that. I just want to say thank you for it.
Thanks, Andy.